The big release, the most awaited release of the year is finally here. And remember, it's not a Friday today, it is a Thursday. We will get into all of that discussions as to why a movie of this extent and this stature in fact chose Thursday to be a release date, and all the fans and their responses so far from the shows that they have been watching, all and more on this very bulletin. Let's get right into it. Theatres are already thronging with ecstatic fans, all eager to witness the cinematic grandeur and spectacle that Pushpa 2, The Rule, in fact has to bring. Well, after much anticipation, this blockbuster sequel had early premieres at 9 p.m. last night itself across 3 states, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Karnataka. For today, theatres in Bengaluru have witnessed fans queuing up since 4 in the morning, celebrating the wildflower Pushpa, or as we belovedly know him, Allu Arjun, also known as Bunny, waiting for the first show of the day, which began screening at 6:45 a.m. in Bengaluru itself. Pushpa 2 is already a record-breaking phenomenon, with over 1 million tickets having been sold before the release. It has become the fastest movie, ladies and gentlemen, in history to achieve this milestone, surpassing the legendary hits like Bahubali 2 and KGF Chapter 2. Globally as well, the pre-sales have ranked in astounding 42.5 crore rupees, with fans in India and the US leading this very charge. In fact, if we just speak of the United States alone, more than 65,000 tickets have been snapped up in over 1,000 locations. Select theatres, in fact, are to run this movie screening round the clock to meet the overwhelming demand. Building on the success of Pushpa The Rise, the sequel delves deeper into the intense rivalry between Pushpa Raj, played by Allu Arjun, and SP Bhanwar Singh, played by Fahad Fasil. Add Rashmika Mandana's charm, and you have got an unbeatable ensemble, with also Sri Lala coming in with her number and special appearance rather in the song Critic. The advanced bookings has rewritten history, over 2 million tickets sold and 100 crores in pre-release collections worldwide. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, at this very point, the movie buzz, in fact, is not false at all. People have been coming out of the theatres after having watched this movie, and they have the same response. They have to say that yes, this movie is not just about action and the Mafia Raj. It has a message for the people, and it has an emotional connect with the people. It has touched a chord with the people. With its explosive action scene, of course, breathtaking visuals and gripping storytelling, Pushpa 2 The Rule isn't just a film. It's an event at this point, an unmissable celebration for fans and a guaranteed record breaker at the box office. Well, ticket prices have been extremely high for a mass appeal movie like Pushpa, yet we see people thronging the theatres. Well, let's quickly take a look at what fans have to say about this. That we bring to you of the fans celebrating, and let's just take you through the entire story of Pushpa 2 for that matter. One of these visuals, as you can see on your screens, is from a promotional event that just very recently took place at Hyderabad. But you know, the interesting aspect, ladies and gentlemen, is with regards to the fact that the movie made its trailer launch official in Bihar. And that was a question amongst fans as to why Bihar. Well, to bring you some data here, Bihar had seen one of the biggest hits for Pushpa 1, and this on satellite TV, the kind of reach it had. Pushpa clearly has a mass appeal. Again, these are conversations we are going to take up with our film critics, renowned film critics who are just joining us shortly on this very bulletin. But let's take you through some of the details. Number one being the fact that this very movie is being released in 6 languages, ladies and gentlemen. This is something which we do not see very often. And to take up this conversation further, I have with me film critic Taran Adarsh and Komal Natha joining me on the broadcast. A very good morning to both you gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us at News9. You know, Taran, I'll come to you first. It's a big release, and at this point, you both have watched the movie, I know. Tell our audiences what struck a chord with you with regards to Pushpa 2, and how is it a larger-than-life movie and bigger than Pushpa 1? Taran, first, you go.
You rightly framed the sentence, the question. I think it's a larger-than-life entertainer in all respects. It's a very well-packaged film. Solid moments. Allu Arjun's fantabulous performance. Like I spoke to him yesterday and I said, reserve all the awards for Allu Arjun. I mean, this man deserves it. He is superb in the film and he carries the film on his able shoulders. Sukumar's direction and writing. If you've noticed, if you've watched Sukumar's earlier films also, including the one that he is much talked about, his Rangasthalam. That's a Telugu film. It was an excellent film, a great narrative. And here too is Pushpa 1 and now Pushpa 2. I think it's Pushpa 2 is much better than Rangasthalam also. I would rate Rangasthalam as one of his finest works, but I would say that Pushpa 2 is much better than Rangasthalam. Sukumar is a magician, which is something that I wrote when I saw it in the evening. I saw it around 7 o'clock in the evening yesterday, and I think it is a superb film. I was bowled over by the sheer the bigness of the film, the masala element, and of course we've all grown up on masala films, so I think this is a great time to celebrate masala films.
Absolutely. Komal, I mean, I was just a little while ago, I was going through how you have in fact penned down about the film, but tell our audience what was it like watching Pushpa 2?
I think it's not a film, it's a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
You know,
well, we'll just figure out that technical glitch. We'll have Komal back with us to tell us what kind of a phenomenon Pushpa 2 has become. But Taran, you know, I'll come back to you at this point. Pushpa 2, I think it is one of the very few films, or correct me if I'm wrong at this point, that it's one of the first films which sees a release in 6 languages. And I'm a Bengali myself. I was extremely surprised to see that it's being dubbed in Bengali for the first time.
Well, you know, the languages aside, I think this is one film where people are bound to connect with the film, with the sequences that they watch on screen, the visuals that they watch on screen. And I think Allu Arjun's performance is so powerful. He's so supremely talented that you can't take your eyes off the screen. And well, I have watched it in the Hindi version, of course, and I feel that the way he performed on some very difficult moments, I don't want to reveal the spoilers because people who have not watched the film are not going to like my statement. But I think if you watch certain moments in the film, especially the interval block, and there's one portion. After the interval and the climax, of course, you know, I mean, the kind of, and the introduction scene, of course.
Right.
Please don't miss the beginning, I would like to add here. The way he's performed, it's I think Allu Arjun is one of the finest actors we have in Indian cinema. And having said that, I would like to add here is that, you know, the way he is taken to the character, not for once did I realize, I felt that, you know, I'm watching Allu Arjun on screen. I felt this is Pushpa Raj. And the way he does this,
the wildfire is back.
I really want to go to a mass theatre and watch the film with the audience to just gauge the reaction.
Absolutely. You know, Taran, in fact, when we discuss about this film, and you've been speaking about, you know, the performance of Allu Arjun. He gone on to win a national award for the first part. But I think what's also worked out for him is that he always used to have the boy next door image in movies usually. He shed that image. He'd said this even in interviews that I want to push my boundaries and I wanted to take up the role of this particular person. He's a mafia at the end of the day, but you cannot hate him. There's nothing but love for this man out there. And the character Pushpa.
Yes, I completely agree with you. If you watched his one of his previous films, Alla Vaikantapuramalu, that was directed by, again, a wizard, a magician called Trivikram. And see that film and watch this one. Those are and same actor, and the kind of performance and the level of performance is something that you can't imagine. So that is the biggest strength of Allu Arjun. I think he is such a versatile actor. He's like a chameleon. He can get into any character and take any shape or any color and then prove that what a fine actor he is. I mean, he's such a brilliant actor that, even if you notice a few flaws here and there as a critic, you overlook it because the sheer magnetism, the sheer power of his performance bowls you.
Absolutely. Taran, in fact, we have Komal back with us. Komal, your first reaction to the film when you watched it, is it indeed, as you were just saying, it is a phenomenon? Tell our audience how so. And maybe people already are there out there trying to watch it, but definitely your views on it.
Of course, it's a phenomenon. It's not just a film. I think it's a phenomenon right from the script to the performances to the narrative style. There's a lot for every age group, whether you're a girl or a boy, whether you're young or old, whether you're class or mass audience. You have entertainment written all over Pushpa 2 for you. So it's not as if he has alienated the audience, okay, let me cater to this audience. Sukumar, through his writings, as well as through his direction and narrative style, he is absolutely world class. And Allu Arjun, I think you can easily just write it on a stamp paper that he deserves the national award for the best actor this year. There is nobody who can take that award away from him. And of course, all the awards for best acting would go to him because he's just lived the role, lived the character. It is world-class cinema. People thought Pushpa was phenomenal. Wait till you see Pushpa 2. Pushpa was not even the trailer. Pushpa 2 is so huge, so big, so grand, so great.
Absolutely. I'll ask you a specific question, both you gentlemen. Srilala's Critic, does it have the same factor? I mean, Samantha's Anta Mama was like a rage at that point when it released. Has Srilala lived up to the expectations this time as well?
Actually, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Taran, I'll come to you first. Komal, I'll just come back to you. Yes.
So, I think the song "Oo Anta Va Mama" was such a rage. It was a very, very big musical blockbuster song. This song, Critic, is not so good. But to say that Sri Leela is less in any form, I don't think so. And this song will also become very popular as the days progress. But Sri Leela's dance is also wonderful. In fact, all the three, Allu Arjun, Rashmika Mandana and Sri Leela, they have danced so well. So hats off to the three choreographers, Shekhar, Ganesh Acharya, Shekhar and Vijay Binni. And also to the three artists because very novel, very difficult steps, but they have carried them off so gracefully that you can't believe anybody can dance like that and anybody can think of these steps. I think phenomenal.
Absolutely. Taran, how did you like Sri Leela?
Well, I was very vocal when I first saw the song when it was launched actually, and I really did not like it. I'll be very honest here. Maybe I had reservations about certain things, but when I watched it yesterday, in the context of that film, of the storyline, I think it was fantastic. And there's a particular, for those who have not watched it, of course, I don't want to spill the beans and I don't want to reveal the spoilers here right now because I feel it's a very important part of the film and that particular song comes at the right juncture and that's a very, very important song. And I think it's beautifully shot. Both the male as well as the female actors in the song are superb. They have done extremely well, and this song is so catchy. As I said, I did not like it in first hearing, but when I watched it yesterday, this is one of my favorite songs.
Okay,
And I'm
yes.
sure over a period of time, when the movie is, now that the movie is released, it's going to grow with each passing day because this song is very rooted in mass, appeal, and I think that's going to be a huge plus.
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to put my foot out there and ask you a question, which probably it's a little too early for this question, but we've seen how movies like RRR went up to Oscar nominations as well. With Pushpa 2, and since both of you have said that Pushpa 2 is way bigger than even Pushpa 1, are we seeing any sort of nominations that we might expect that India might fill in Pushpa 2 for the Oscars next year?
Definitely
Komal?
so. Definitely so. Allu Arjun
What
should be
category would you be
nominated.
expecting it in?
I mean, best film also probably.
Okay.
It's a phenomenal film. Music, I wouldn't say because the music is not as good as in Pushpa 1. It will become very popular, but it doesn't have the chart-busting songs. Pushpa songs were a rage right from the time the film released. Pushpa 2, the songs will take a little bit of time to get popular, but I wouldn't be surprised if this reaches the Oscar finals. I wouldn't be surprised, and if it picks up an Oscar, maybe for the choreography, because the choreography, as I said, is very difficult, but very, very wonderful.
So, Pushpa 2 in the Oscar race. Taran, what do you have to say? Are you
Well,
expecting
I would
it?
say that Allu Arjun, and if at all it is nominated, Allu Arjun's performance, the music, the song, the action choreography, I think that is something that bowls you. And then there is, of course, the entire package as a film. I think this needs to be applauded on a world stage. And I am sure that in times to come, people will really genuinely give that right kind of applause and applaud this film in a very big way.
Taran, in fact, both you and Komal are veterans in the industry at this point. Just help me understand, and this is for our viewers as well. This was a question raised. December 5 is a Thursday, and we have seen all blockbuster releases across this country take place on a Friday. But then there is this edge they also had. They said that it's an advantage that it was releasing on a Thursday and not a Friday. It had an edge over other films that usually release on Friday. We had seen that the release date anyway had to be pushed to December. It was earlier supposed to release somewhere middle of 2024. But the Thursday release, it's quite unheard of, especially for movies of this kind, movies of this stature. What would you have to say, Taran?
Well, I think, if you recall, last year we had Animal on a non-holiday and non-festival day. So, and it broke all the records. It's the highest non-holiday opener ever. In fact, I just want to add here that Pushpa 2 is targeting two major records on its opening day. One is Jawan, which is 65 crores net box office collection. I'm talking about the Hindi version, yes. And the second is, of course, Animal, which is 54 point something. On its opening day, and I think I think both the awards should be demolished by the end of the day. The way the film has opened, fingers crossed. As far as the Thursday release is concerned, I genuinely feel that there are so many films. In fact, Bahubali was a non-holiday release, not on a Thursday. I'm talking about Bahubali 2. I'm talking about Avengers, which came on again non-holiday. And now we again have Animal, as I just mentioned. And now we have Pushpa 2, which is coming on a non-holiday. So imagine, people who always mention, a lot of people feel that holidays and festivals are important dates to actually get the audiences in. But, it has been proven time and again that, if your film has the content and the star power and the charisma and, of course, the appeal to reach out to the audience, then I think holiday or non-holiday doesn't matter.
I think it's a formula that has now been put to the test for quite a few films, and it's clearly catching up and working out. Komal, coming to you, this film, we saw the trailer launch in Bihar. It's a Telugu film whose trailer launch was in Bihar because Pushpa 1 had some of the biggest fans coming in. The satellite TV shows for Pushpa 1 had garnered massive viewership in Bihar. Why this appeal? I wouldn't say why at this point, but the appeal of this movie in the northern belt at this point, that is unheard of at this given point, would you say? And it's a massive hit in Bihar at this point.
Yes, yes, Shriya, I think they wanted to underline that we may be South cinema, but we are as concerned about Bombay and Delhi as we are of Bihar, about Bihar. You know, Bihar distributors and exhibitors often feel that cinema is catering to the city audience, the more urban audience, whereas they are more hinterland. So I think this was their way of saying that we care for you and we care for your kind of audience. Coming back to your earlier question about the Thursday release, I think since you said let it be for the benefit of our viewers, I think we are missing a very important point. The Thursday release is also because in the first week the sharing of revenue between the distributor and the exhibitor is at a higher percentage than in the second and third and fourth week. So as the weeks progress, the share of the distributor and therefore the producer, because the distributor has stepped into the producer's shoes, the share keeps declining. That is also one reason why producers prefer to release their film on Thursday, because then the first week is counted as of 8 days. So 8 days, you get that 52.5% or whatever, you know. So obviously, that's a big, big chunk of revenue going to the distributor instead of remaining with the exhibitor. Otherwise, if it was a 7-day week, the 8th day would be at the declined percentage for the distributor. But here the week is of 8 days. So it's an 8-day week of that higher percentage share to the distributor. It makes a lot of commercial and economic sense. And I think only those who understand cinema business, I mean, it's not a critic's job. Those who understand cinema business will understand this point. Others may not really follow, but it makes more commercial sense.
No, absolutely. That is the formula I was actually looking out for. What is it that they're trying to achieve with this Thursday release? Which also brings me to the point that, you know, Pushpa 1 had garnered somewhere around, it had earned 400 crore rupees. First day, 74 crores was its earning. This time we are saying 1,000 crores. And would you say it's a possibility at this point? And, or rather, it may actually, you know, surpass 1,000, and it's looking at a new record after the release. Because sequels, it is a little difficult sometimes. We do not expect, we do end up expecting a lot from sequels, but they don't turn up to our expectations. But Pushpa 2 really seems to be otherwise. The fans seem to be very happy, those who have already watched it.
Yes, definitely. I don't know the figure. It's too early to say because overseas one doesn't know exactly what kind of figures are coming in. But let it be said that it is easily going to be the biggest ever opening in the history of films, in the history of Hindi cinema. It is going to be the best ever opening. So I am confident that it is going to surpass Jawan, Pathan, Gadar 2, Stree 2, everything. And not just the opening. Let's talk about the lifetime business. I say this with all the conviction at my command that this is going to write history as far as Hindi cinema is concerned. It's quite strange that a dubbed film should outdo all Hindi films, but this is going to be possible with this film. You know, earlier, for several years, Bahubali 2, the conclusion, was the highest grossing Hindi film. I'm talking about the Hindi dubbed version. And then, of course, Pathan broke its record, and then Jawan, and then Gadar 2, and then Stree 2. Again, the time has come for South to dominate Hindi cinema.
It is Pushpa's Raj this time. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Komal, I'm so sorry I have to interrupt you there because we are almost running out of time. Taran, a quick word from you on this very particular question. Are we looking at record earning from this film as has been expected and as the projections say? And is 1,000 crore mark what we are looking at?
Well, I think lifetime, yes, definitely. The opening has been, the start in India has been phenomenal. In fact, early morning, I got a call from the overseas distributor, including, I was talking about the Australia and New Zealand, which is on fire, actually. The kind of, and a couple of days earlier too, he mentioned that the opening is, the pre-sales, that is the advance booking, the ticket sales, are the highest for an Indian film ever in Australia.
It's broken records already.
US the premieres are also, I have access to track, so I'm going to track the international figures as well. But internationally also it's going to be huge. Sorry, not huge, humongous.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, both Taran and Komal, for joining us on this broadcast, this special coverage for Pushpa 2. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have to wrap up the bulletin. But before we leave, we have a small response for you on this very movie. Let's quickly take a look at it.
the Pushpa 2 rule is absolutely a powerhouse. I mean, like, it has its own flow. Let me talk about some negative first. That the first sequence of Japan and the storytelling is little bit off, but the surprise is the Allu Arjun. I mean, like, this guy has carried, पूरी फिल्म अपने कंधों पर लेकर ये चला है बंदा. What a music by DSP. Amazing music, amazing choreography, amazing, brilliant performances from entire team and the action, And what I love most about this film is the Kalima sequence. A complete manifestation of femininity by Allu Arjun. I have seen like kind of, Ardhanareshwar in a Rudra avatar. And that what, Allu Arjun has portrayed. And the highlight, the climax action sequence. I mean, like, it's unimagined. I have seen all this action movies, all this, James Bond movies and all animal movie recently. But this is different. The action in this movie is so different, especially the climax. Oh, it's a power packed. It has never, मुझे कहीं पे भी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि मैं बाहर जाऊं या ये खाऊं या कुछ करूं या कुछ नहीं. I was so engrossed in the movie. And brilliant by Allu Arjun, Sukumar and his team, and DSP especially. Everybody is so much to be congratulated, And that's it. My name is Hemant Pandya. I'm from New Jersey, USA. And we just came out from the movie and could not stop recording this and sending to my friend Bharti.